Chris, when you're designing all these new things, do you take into account, like for the materials or the space station, technical details, anything like that?
The space station, yes. The jets, yes. I wanted to at least, if someone asks me, how does that work, I have a groundwork to allow me to bullshit it. But like, I try to think about it. If a space station needs to defend itself, how does that happen? If it needs to move, how does that happen? How do people get in and out of it? I try to figure all those things out. Costumes, materials, not so much, because comic books, I kind of like that it's clothes lit on fire, who cares? I don't really worry too much about that. But there is a level of it needs to actually be fabric. It needs to work like fabric works. But this is a universe of unstable molecules and stretching things. So what it has to be made out of can kind of be fun, you have your imagination. But I do try to at least understand the physics of how actual clothes works.
One interesting thing about this new creative team is obviously Peggy Carter and Carol Danvers are very different characters, but they've both meant something very significant, I think, to fans over just the past few years and sort of the spaces they occupy within Marvel. Obviously, being very familiar with Agent Carter at this point, and now taking on Carol Danvers, what are some of the things that you enjoy about this character in particular, and sort of maybe some of the way that they're different and operate in these very different worlds and taking on that sort of new challenge?
There is a similarity, actually, I think, in a way, in that they're obviously in their strength and in their sort of confidence and not really caring what other people think of them. So I think there is a similarity, and I think it's interesting. Carol is a little more of a hothead sometimes. But I guess Peggy can be too. Peggy is, so yeah, there may be more similarities than you think. Yeah, they're both funny.
I also think for us, what was similar was both of them were world building. We were, to rebuild the world of 1947 for Agent Carter is interesting both when we're breaking story and we're actually filming in production, and how do we actually achieve that. And then in the comic book, because we're world building with this new space station and who she's interacting with, there's similarities just in that for us as we're working on the stories.
Yeah, they both feel like a little bit more of an open canvas than some other similar things you might take on in these types of worlds. All right, who else has a question? Yes?
So, all of you are creating your own world for Carol and everything. How much does Marvel get involved? How much do you guys come up out of your own head?
I would say we were sort of given early on the space station, Alpha Flight, Abigail Brand. There are a couple other sort of broad stroke things, but we did sort of the arc of like 5 issues, and then here's what happens in the first issue. And you get notes on it like you would on anything else, but and so it was it's a collaboration certainly with Marvel, but much of our sort of original sort of in the details is they just gave us a sort of broad like space station, and so we go and how do we tell a space station story, and I realized everything I know about space stations is from Star Trek and Star Wars, which I did, and you don't realize how much you think, oh, that's a real thing. It's like, nope, only on the Enterprise.
So far.
So I have like a whole newfound respect for all those guys. Like, wow, you invented everything. But so yeah, so I think it's a collaboration, but it's very similar to collaborating with a studio and a network.
So they don't say like, oh, there's this new pandemic coming, and so you guys need to collaborate that into your story?
Not yet. I'm sure that there are instances where that happens. Where we really rely on them as an asset is, I'm familiar with a certain part of the Marvel Universe, and you know, we have questions of sometimes we're like, well, we need a character that will do this. What's the right character for that based on all of the books that you have? You know, and they're able to kind of really point us in the direction more than dictate.
It's good, right there, yes.
I would love to tell you, but they told us we can't say it. So. I tell you, but we're specifically said don't say it. But it's fun.
Apparently they'll tell you at New York Comic Con.
Yes.
But people who like Alpha Flight will be happy. There are, you know, there are recognizable faces.
Yeah, it's not an instance where it's the name Alpha Flight, but it's totally new characters. So there will be some.
So there will be legit Canadians.
We're not creating it.
There's some Canadians covered.
But evidently they're saying it doesn't, in the future, does not have to be Canadians. Can be open to all nationalities.
All nationalities.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for Alpha Flight fans.
Yeah, because it was such a uniquely Canadian thing at first. And also, you know, speaking of characters, you know, you've mentioned Abigail Brand a couple times. What can you say? Can you say a little bit more about maybe the role that she plays in this book and sort of the fun that you're having with writing that character? Because it is a character that is a fun character. Right? Kind of not the most famous Marvel character, but you know, I know definitely one that has fans.
Well, she right now is sort of a very interesting foil for Carol, and we didn't want to write a story where it's like, oh, two girls and they don't like each other. But they definitely they're two very strong, confident women who are not necessarily on the same page when they first meet. And when Carol has a journey where, you know, it's like, okay, you're in a different structure here. You're on the space station. You're sort of in charge, and you can't always be going out and punching people in the face, even though you want to. And that's kind of Abigail's thing. Like, you're a commander now. You can't just be leaving every time. And so they start from two different points of view, not necessarily buddies in the beginning, but at the end, I think, learn to have at least a mutual perspective.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you can answer this or not, but with Abigail Brand being more significant to Captain Marvel, are we going to get involvement from Beast, specifically Henry McCoy?
Cannot answer.
I think the Inhumans are keeping him. He's in the book. He's in the Inhuman book.
Yeah.
On the cover.
Yeah.
Since Peter and Carol are the best of friends, is there any chance you might see Spider-Man in the future?
Good.
Yeah, there's probably a chance. Like within the laws of the universe, there's certainly a chance.
I mean, she still is on the Ultimates. I mean, she does go back down to Earth, so theoretically she could see Peter in other places than Marvel.
Yeah, that's a cool lineup on the Ultimates book. Yes, right there. Yes.
So I think part of what I like about LBCC was how grounded she had to in her friends and sort of family and community. And I was wondering if you were going to have anything like that, those characters in particular, but just sort of that vibe of them so close to relationship. And also
Is who going to go today?
Truly.
I don't think so, but it's somewhat part of her emotional arc, because if you recall, she sort of lost all her memories and has now been sort of given an oral history of her life, but a lot of her memories are gone. So part of it is, and then it is part of her sort of emotional journey that, well, who does this? Who goes up on a space station away from everything, and why is she doing that? So that's actually part of her journey. You will see a familiar face from Kelly's run there, but we also wanted to, because we have Alpha Flight, we wanted to sort of build relationships with Alpha Flight too. And fun relationships and with different people. So it's a lot of people to service. So I think, but there is at least one familiar face.
Yeah, it seems like almost this run is kind of specifically not grounded, right? Because she's dealing with such.
Yeah, it is literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone else? Questions? Yes.
What does Carol keep in her belt pockets?
I could tell you, but you won't read the book.
Do you really think I'm gonna not read the book?
We haven't locked that down. It's definitely, actually, it has been brought up in discussions that, you know, they kind of want everything to be useful. So, you know, I have 4 pockets, and I do have ideas. We haven't really gotten to a point where we need to really nail that down yet, but I do give them ideas about what should be in there. Whether or not they're actually going to let me do those, I don't know. But I mean, there's different things. I mean, there's communicators, there's, you know, her vendor stuff. Like, you know, you never know what you can put in there.
Wallet, keys, cell phone.
It's a space station, it needs keys.
Who else got a question? Got the new Captain Marvel team right here.
Random, not necessarily comic-related question. How do you feel about Ronda Rousey saying she wants to be Captain Marvel for the upcoming movie?
Well, she kicks ass. You know, I mean, I think, put yourself out there. The fact of the matter is, I mean, it seems like a long shot, but the fact, who knows?
Yeah.
So is another, an actress who's really fun.
Somebody's been, yeah, gunning for it. I can't remember who.
Ron Howard's daughter.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, she's got, like.
Bryce
yeah,
Dallas
Right,
Howard.
she's been
That's
on
really
Twitter, basically vying for the.
Really?
Yeah.
After those Jurassic World numbers,